Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a review of the Marvel Select Scarlet Witch action figure from Avengers Age of Ultron by Diamond Select. Action figures of Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow have been woefully underproduced, so I'm really happy that this figure came out. There was one previous 6-inch scale one made by Hasbro from the Winter Soldier line. Now Hasbro and Diamond Select are the two major action figure companies that tend to get Marvel figures, specifically movie figures, and I always like to kind of compare the two and figure, well, who did it better, because there's usually a lot of overlapping figures. Did Diamond Select or Hasbro do it better? Hasbro is a more commercial toy company, so their articulation usually tends to be stronger, whereas Diamond Select is more collectible based and has stronger sculpting. This is one of the rare cases where I think they have good articulation. In fact, I'd say this is some of the best articulation I've seen from Diamond Select, which usually can be a little limited. Look at their Captain America Winter Soldier figure, where you've got the ankle hinge, double knee joint hinge, you've got the thigh cut and the hinge at the waist, you've got the mid-under boobage cut, you've got the ball hinge shoulders, you've got the ball hinged elbow, which is great because it hinges and swivels out. And then something kind of new for them, not only do they have the swiveling wrist, but they have a hinge at the wrist. They've really stepped up their game, I think, as far as articulation on this figure goes. And the ball hinge head has a really good range of motion. So good job to them for that. However, this was a giant pain in the dick to try to hunt for a good figure for this. I went to one comic shop, I saw 3 figures, I went to another one that had 3, they were awful, I went to another where they had 9. Every single figure that I saw of this had issues with the paint. First of all, they didn't use the plastic as their skin base, so they had to paint the skin on. And I saw some, good lord, where the paint was so thin you could see like a bluish plastic underneath. Almost every one I saw had bad eye paint, weird lip paint, or various red lines just strewn across the paint, like stray paint. Also, this neck piece here connects into her chest, into her shirt. I saw somewhere it was like kind of sticking out, so like her boob cleavage was like floating out of her chest. It wasn't lined up properly. And all of them had this weird kind of black flaky paint here. Now my light's kind of washing it out, but there is this sort of dark paint in her cleavage. This is the cleanest one I saw, but there's some with just black stray kind of paint flakes everywhere. So it looks like she's got hairy boobs, and that's just a little weird. So if you care at all about like the quality of your figure, I really encourage you to take your time hunting for a good one in stores. This was the best one I saw, and you know, I'm actually pretty happy with the way this one's head turned out. Now, aside from all my complaining, there is some pretty decent sculpting here. I mean, for a little 6-inch action figure, well, 7-inch, the head looks kind of like Scarlett Johansson from certain angles. Maybe not from the front, but from the side. I think her nose and her mouth look good. I think her eyebrows and eyeball paint look good, but her hair is very well sculpted and very well painted. They use a little bit of like light, almost yellowish brown to highlight the red, and I think that works really well. But the sculpting on her body is very well done. Like the belt looks great, her costume looks great, like the little texture wrinkles, pardon me for pointing at her boobs, but the like little texture wrinkles right there on the side where the darker black meets the middle black, there's like the wrinkling around the stomach, all the wrinkles on the arms, and then the blue paint that highlights all that, the little light up areas, and the new kind of red panels, the gauntlet. It's all really strong. In fact, there's these little kind of copper highlights in her hand that look good too. But yeah, as far as like taking a plastic figure and sculpting fabric wrinkles and stuff, I think they did a great job with this. The figure out of the package comes with a right gun grip hand and a left regular grip hand, so the opposite hands are accessories here with a right grip and a left gun hand. She also comes with, for use of those grip hands, her little light up baton sticks, and they're just painted blue with these little kind of black grids kind of painted over them, and they look cool. Lastly, we've got her gun, which is a little tiny pistol. It's a basic sculpt, nothing too fancy, but you get the idea. One issue I have with this, though, that to me is just really imbecilic, is that she's got a holster in the side, but the gun doesn't fit all the way into the holster. It like sticks out. You can actually kind of see inside like how short, well, you kind of can't see, but it's not that deep of a holster. You could see here where the holster would go to, like in theory, and then you see how it just sort of hangs out and doesn't go all the way in, and that's just really stupid to me. The figure also comes with this base. Now this base connects with the Thor figure to make this kind of generic warehousey ground GAC set, and Diamond Select in the past has usually done, I'd say 80% of the time, pretty good bases, but every once in a while we get these kind of generic, boring bases, and this is just like, I don't know if this is supposed to be when they're confronting Ultron about, stealing vibranium, or if this is meant to be like the compound towards the end where Black Widow's been captured, but it's really just sort of generic boxes and cables and stuff. And if you're in like an Avengers Age of Ultron fan, it's not a very exciting base. It's not a very unique base from any unique moment like they've done in the past with, like, I don't know, Captain America. The first Avenger had a great one. The Thor set had a great one too. So this is just kind of whatever. Despite me complaining about hunting for a good paint job on the face, and despite the holster being stupid, this does have really strong articulation. That's what really, saves the figure for me. It kind of comes with the package leaning forward, but you can kind of tilt her upward and get her in a more stronger pose. So the articulation is really strong. Also, there's some pretty good articulation. I missed it. There's a mid-calf cut right there in the boot, and that's really awesome that the kind of boot swivels around. It's not just part of her pant. Like the boot itself has its own separate hinge that matches the boot. And that's great. And I like that the knee pads are where the double knee joint is. So like the padding on the knees kind of blends in with the cut. Also, the thigh cut is unique in that it's like at an angle instead of straight across. A lot of different things here, and I think Diamond Select did a really good job with this one. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised, despite the fact that the paint on the face can be a little wonky and the likeness isn't amazing. This is a pretty strong Black Widow figure, and she deserves a strong figure, so good job. Thanks for watching.